Okay, let's explain this. So, for those of you who are not aware of what Double Dip Draft is, essentially, in a nutshell, this is a competitive Pokemon draft league. And the way that that works is a draft league is essentially at the beginning of the league, in this case, for Double Dip, it's 10 Pokemon. You get to pick 10 Pokemon of varying strengths and weaknesses based on their tier and their viability in the current meta. And you get basically a handful of small, good Pokemon, and then, a small handful of good Pokemon, and then a large handful of less good Pokemon. Skittles, thank you so much for the Tier 1 gift sub to Nihilus5. Welcome back! Your second gift sub ever. That's kind of pog. So, this format is really cool. Basically, it lets you do a lot of weird, wacky shit. It really breaks up sort of the OU meta. Also, let's go Scam Train, pog! We love Scam Train. I have a Scam Train emote, actually. Hold on. I saw this earlier. It's Hype Bigfoot 2. Let's go Scam Train. Welcome back, Nihilus. Enjoy your, frankly, godlike subs. I love the Love and Cheems. I need to get that. I actually really need to... Or that's Lovin's Pog. That's Cheems Pog. I need to sub to you. I'm getting so distracted. I'm gonna laser focus on what we're talking about. So basically, you can see here, our current format is 10 Pokemon per person. We get one Gigantamax Pokemon. That's the only Pokemon that can Dynamax or Gigantamax. Everything else cannot do it. And then you get one S tier, mine was Aegislash, one A tier, mine was Dracozolt, 3 B tiers, mine were Appletun, Lucario, and Umbreon, and then 4 C tiers, mine were Mr. Rhyme, Orbeetle, Rhydon, and Rotom. And you can use only this 10 Pokemon. Some combination of 6, because that's as many Pokemon as you can have in a standard battle. And you have to choose a different team for every opponent. So, for example, if I was going to fight somebody, I'm the Southtown Sandslashers, and I was going to fight Brussels Espeons, then this is my list of 10 Pokemon that I can use, and here's his list of 10 Pokemon. His Gigantamax is Machamp, his S tier is Hatterene, his A tier is Poltegeist, his 3 A tiers are Frostmoth, Obstagoon, Reneragus, his 4 C tiers are Colossal, Escavalier, Gastrodon, and Vikavolt. Gastrodon should not be a C tier, by the way, as we have learned. We didn't make this tier list. This was someone else's idea. Not that I don't like the tier list overall, but the Gastrodon's not supposed to be that low. And yes, you can technically use the same team multiple times, but, you know, the fun of the format, or sort of the brilliant take on it, is you have to make what you have cover everything that might get thrown at you. And sometimes you'll get a bad matchup. Like, sometimes somebody will just have 1 or 2 Pokemon that totally sweep your whole draft. You just gotta deal with it. You just gotta figure it out. It's a fun activity. And this is a site dedicated to Pokemon drafts. I imagine he's almost certainly not here. I did ping him twice if he's got his everyone pings enabled on my server. But Draft League NL is courtesy of Automatic. He's been awesome. His site is awesome. It's made the Draft League experience way, way better. Before, we did not have this kind of interface or format. Before, we had to use like challenge brackets and Google Docs, and it was a lot less elegant and cool. Are the teams randomly generated? No, so you draft your team. Essentially, you do it in a snake draft format. You can see our draft here. It's a little bit screwy looking on a couple of them because people made mistakes while drafting. But in a nutshell, you start up at the top left and you go to the right and then down like a snake. And then when you get to the bottom, the person at the bottom, Nevada Ninetales, gets to draft 2, and it starts back up from the bottom, going back up to the top. And you did that for all of the Pokemon. You could draft in whatever order you want, so S tier, Gigantamax, A tier, C tier, B tier, it doesn't matter. IDM responded he was eating. Nice! Okay, that's good that he's here, because we're going to do IDM versus Aurora first. Dugtrio is in S tier. Dugtrio is really good because he has Arena Trap, which is an ability where if you're against a grounded Pokemon, it doesn't get to switch out. Which means, like, if you got a Dugtrio in versus, like, Excadrill, Dugtrio's faster, it's got a type advantage, and Excadrill can't leave, so it's just automatically dead. It's really good for, like, revenge killing and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, if you take a look at just the situation here, everybody got a team of 10. We had 16 players, and then... Or, not matchup, we need to rank it. So we had a total of 16 players, or 16 coaches, who are coaching a team each of 10 Pokemon. You also get to name your team something cute, so I'm the Southtown Sandslashers. Our top 4 are actually all from Division 1. hilariously, just due to the upsets from round 1 of playoffs. And hello, IDM. Welcome. We're going to be doing you versus Aurora first. I'm just giving everybody a primer on what they're going to see tonight. So feel free to take just a minute or two to make sure your teams are all ready to go. And then I'll let you know when we need to get into it. Oh, Idea Maker, thank you! You're a god! Thank you so much for gifted 3 Tier 1 subs, Beanborg, Hype Knight, and Ostkun. You guys are awesome. Welcome. Enjoy your sick, nasty emotes. You guys are sick, by the way. I really appreciate your support. I know I've been the father who went to get cigarettes at the gas station and never came back. I apologize for leaving you for so long. Hopefully, I want to try and get back into things. I'm thinking, like, maybe making Saturday a regular stream day. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, all that having been said, as far as the tournament is concerned, we had 2 groups of 8, and you play everybody in your group in a round-robin format. So this was 1 battle a week over the course of 7 weeks to determine who we got to play, right? So, for example, in Division 1, Brussels Espeons, that's IDM, he played Chicago Snubbulls, Hoensbroek Haunters, Minnesota Magikarps, Hartford Honchcrows, Ne'er-Do-Well Nidokings, Zaxxle Guild Gillispods, and Loafville Lanterns. You have to play every single other person in your division. And then depending on how your differential, which is the amount of Pokemon you win or lost by, so if you win by 2 Pokemon, like you 2-0 somebody, then you get +2 differential. If you lost 0-2, then you would get a -2 differential. Based on your differential and your matchup against everybody in your group, the top 4 advance into playoffs. And playoffs is our top 8. Essentially, 50% of the bracket got knocked out when playoffs started. Playoffs started a week ago. And our top 8 was the top 4 from each of these brackets. Now, because of just a series of upsets from that week, Division 2 has been completely eliminated, actually, which was insane. Firebolt, the Minnesota Magikarps, qualified basically by the skin of his teeth, and then went on to defeat Spood's army, who is Scoots, who was undefeated in his group, and just, like, outplayed him fair and square. It was a crazy game, actually. Very worth watching, but, you know, it's a little unfortunate that Division 2 is completely out, because we don't have any brand new matches. Since all of Division 1 is left, that means all of the upcoming matches will be rematches from, at some point in group stage, everybody has played everybody else. So we're excited to see that going forth. But yeah, it's unfortunate, man. When you get to playoffs, it's single elimination. So you lose 1 time and you're out. It's brutal. But Scoots is godlike. We already know. We already know Scoots is godlike. And you gotta be happy, man. If somebody makes an upset like that, you can't help but be a little hype about it, right? So that brings us to where we're at today. This is the top 4 of our playoffs. So, Spood's Army, Hairlin Haluchas, Zapping Zapdos, and Silver Spring Skarmories all qualified for playoffs, all lost their round 1 playoffs match, which means they are out. They tie for, I think, 5th. Which means now we have our top 4. That is all of our Division 1 green players here, and they are going to be playing each other today. So here's how the bracket is going to work. Essentially, our first match of the day is going to be IDM versus Aurora. That's going to be Brussels Espeons versus the the Haunters. And they're going to play, and then whoever wins that gets to go on to Grand Finals. Whoever loses that match goes on to our bronze match, which is essentially just a bonus match where the 2 players who lose their semifinals match today will play for 3rd place. So we've got, essentially, if you win your semifinals match, you'll go on to grand finals, and if you lose your semifinals match, you do have 1 more shot to take it at 3rd. But it's not a double elimination, make no mistake. If you lose it all today, you are not getting 1st place. And on the other side of bracket, we have Love and Sky versus Firebolt. Love versus Firebolt, not what we expected at all, frankly. For top 4 of playoffs, so IDM and Aurora are both seasoned, really, really solid players. Not to say that Lovin and Firebolt are not seasoned, solid players. Well, okay, that's not fair. They're not seasoned. They're bland. They're milk toast. They are new. Firebolt's only played, I think, 2 other Draft League seasons before this, and he did pretty solid in Double Dip Season 2, but way back in the Spokemon Smowdown League days, did not have a great record. He has been on the come up, and I mean, his Scoots win absolutely unprecedented, totally insane, really, really, really good. So he has clawed and fought his way, and he's just barely hanging on, getting to top 4. Love and Sky is baby-faced, and he does not even know most of the Pokemon. He doesn't know type matchups by heart. He's totally brand new. He doesn't know a lot of Pokemon stuff, and yet he is dedicated, he is smart, he is quick to adapt, and he has got a lot of good wins. He came out looking incredible. He was second in his pool. And look at his differential even, like, by a wide margin. He's at plus 12, 5 and 2. The only 2 people that he lost to were IDM and I believe Jason, which is the Hartford Haunch Crows. Shouts to Nihilus, the Blasters, Jason fellow Blaster. IDM did do incredible. He went undefeated this season. But Lovin, I mean, far surpassed everyone's expectations going into the top 4. So, yeah, I mean, G-Max Pikachu, dude. Who saw it coming? Nobody saw it coming. He's really... So, G-Max Pikachu is not a good Pokemon. And he has made it look like the scariest fucking thing ever. Notably, Gigantamax Pikachu is the official kill leader for Double Dip Draft Season 3. So, yeah. No, I don't think G-Max Pikachu tied. I'm pretty sure he actually, from the group stage, he finished with like 1 or 2 more kills than you Dragapult did. But yeah, I mean, G-Max Pikachu, dude. Crazy stuff. I may not have done well, but I did discover a new favorite moveset for Snorlax, so I'm chill. Yeah, Skittles. So a lot of people have been playing. It's hard to tell, you know, off the top of your head if you're looking at this, but a lot of regulars from the stream. I do just want to give a quick shout out to absolutely everybody who played. Brussels Espeon, IDM, you're sick. I hope you know that I fucking idolize you, dude. You are insanely good at Pokemon. I am blown away by the consistency that you have, and also by the fact that you can still bring crazy meme shit and just win. You can bring Imprisoned Gardevoir in Grand Finals of Double Dip Season 2 and win! You can bring Torment Alakazam in, like, what was that? Pokemon Smowdown, right? SSL Grands? You won that! I don't know, dude. IDM, he's crazy, crazy good. We are so lucky to have him. He is very clearly the favorite to win today as well, just based on his head-to-heads with the remaining players. So if IDM wins, that's kind of the expected outcome, but that's okay because he's gonna make it hype. It doesn't matter. Coming in after that, Love and Sky, Chicago Snubbulls, first timer to the series. He's brought it so hard and so far, and he's put so much of himself into it. You're awesome. Thank you for playing. You know I love you, Lovin. You're great. Aurora, you're sick. Your consistency is also incredible. I know that you can get in your head sometimes about certain matchups or certain peculiars of play, but you're making it work. I mean, you're here today, so good luck, my friend. I hope that you do well. Firebolt, you're awesome. I know that you got kind of cheesed out of playoffs last season. That sucks, but you're here. I mean, you're showing us that it's not a fluke. You're here for real. You're top 4, you beat Scoots. Welcome. We're hype. Jason, fuck you. You're a little shit-talking bitch. I love you, man. Thank you for playing. I look forward. I love the spice you bring to Double Dip. I look forward to fighting you in real life. And also in the game at some point. I'm so mad that both of us didn't make playoffs. I want the run back. I beat you, though, in Season 1. Or, I think it was... No, Season 2. Wait, what's Season 2? I beat you at some point, and that's all that matters. We're 1-0 in bracket, so come at me, buddy. Ne'er-do-well Nidokings, that's my brother Cameron. I love you, Cameron. I don't think you're here. I'm pretty sure you're at work. Thank you for playing. I know that it can be hard to lose sometimes. I know that you care a lot about this stuff. That's what makes you a fucking competitor. I love you, man. Thank you for playing. Nick, you started putting it back together at the end of the season. I know it's not what you wanted, but I really appreciate you playing with us, man. We really needed you. You're sick. You're my roommate, buddy. Much love. Shouts to White Loaf. That's White Loaf. Blaster Hall of Famer. Fucking White Loaf. How can a scrublet like myself who knows nothing about Pokemon get in on this next season? All you gotta do is let me know. So, I'll go around. We had a sign-up form this season, and next season will even be more different. There'll be more Pokemon available for people who are interested in playing, because they're gonna do the DLC releases, and those are gonna become available through Bank. So just stay posted. I'll go ahead and do a sweep when the next season comes up. And I highly encourage, even if you don't know anything, you might just do 11. You might just enter on a whim and just fucking fuck everybody up and just be sick. I'd also like to give a huge thanks to Scoots, Spood's Army. I love you, man. You're my favorite person on earth. I really wanted you to go all the way this season. I think you fucking deserve a win on one of these things. I think you're so good. I think it is unfortunate that you keep losing. And I want you to know that you're sick nasty. He's also power ranked in main in Ultimate. So he's really good. He's just a fucking gamer. But I want him to get his draft league crown. He really, really deserves it. Heartland Haluchas, another first to the series. This was his first season. Vincent, you're sick. I appreciate you. I loved your team. Your draft was like the sort of Dark World version of mine. We had like opposite fossils, and you had Alchemy, and I had G-Max Alchemy, and I don't know. We had a lot of similar stuff in our drafts, and I felt a kinship with you, even though we barely talked. So, shouts to you, dude. I really appreciated you playing this season. I hope I see you back next season. Zapping Zapdos, General 5-star. Ooh, fuck you. God, I'm so glad you played, but also, I want you to know that you cost me. It was entirely and solely your fault that I didn't make playoffs, and I'm so mad about it. And it's... this is a time to celebrate, so I'm not just gonna give you a hard time, but thank you for playing. You're awesome. I appreciate you. You're fucking good at Pokemon. You are deceptively a strong motherfucker, and I really appreciate that you played with us again. Your best elevator, Silver Spring Skarmories. You're also sick. You beat me this season. You're a fucking long timer, and you're always plugging, and you're always making shit happen, and your Suicune was the worst shit I ever had to play against in Season 1. But I want you to know that it's not Double Dip without your best elevator, and I want to say thank you for playing with us. Southtown Sand Slashers, that's me. I did a hell of a job running this shit. Thank you to Aurora as well, for being essentially the co-owner and sponsor of Double Dip. She made it happen. I mean, she was the mover and shaker. She was on the ground when I was playing Thousand Year Door, and she was like, let's do a draft league. And I was like, okay. And then she just did it, and we just made it happen from there. So, couldn't have done it without you, but also, we couldn't have done it without me, baby! Thank you to me! Shoutouts to Minneapolis Marinis, another first-time player. You're sick. Your draft was insanely fat. You're cool. I like you. I don't think you're here. Your Twitter has a lot of furry porn on it. I respect that. Nevada Ninetales, Skittles, you're sick nasty. We love you, Skittles. Everyone loves you, Skittles. You beat me! I'm so mad that you beat me! I have some beef. Division 2, I've got dummy beef with all of you motherfuckers. Ooh, just see me next season. I'm coming back. I'm gonna light your ass up. Believe it, I'm gonna light your ass up next season. But, Skittles, you know we love you. You're a super long timer. You're old as dirt for the Spood community. We are so happy that you're here all the time. Thank you, Skittles. You light up a room like nobody else. GTP Woody, I know we give you a hard time. You went 2-5, my guy. You won 2 more games than you've ever won in any draft league season. You are sick. Thank you for agreeing to play with us and for actually just outperforming your seed by like I know that you're at the bottom of the thing, but like I want you to know that there are little victories and you have to kind of set your own milestones, and I don't mean to like condescend to you, but like he made some shit happen. He's got 2 fucking wins under his belt. You have no idea how fucking hard it is to get 2 wins in Double Dip. The fact that everyone finished with at least 2 wins, that's unheard of. Like, the competition was so fucking fierce this season. So, thank you, GTP. Thank you to everybody. I love you guys. That's enough soapboxing. It's been 30 minutes. I think it's about time that we just jump into it. IDM Aurora, if you guys want to go ahead and link me your showdown battle as soon as it's ready, we'll take it from there. You're losing to a Stunfisk in Sword? A Galarian Stunfisk? Yikes. Your battles were loaded with stupid fucking RNG. I don't know if you remember Skills, but in Season 2, I think it was, I missed, or maybe it was Season 1, my Togekiss missed a 95% accurate Air Slash on your Ludicolo, and you set up Swift Swim, and you just almost beat me. Again, because of the fucking 5% miss. And I was so mad. And I like randomly put Protect on my Mega Lopunny. And the only reason I won that game was because I just randomly put Protect on my Mega Lopunny. Because I had to stall exactly 1 turn of rain. Yeah, Ludicolo's nuts. Ludicolo is actually gonna be in the playoffs. I mean, I imagine. It's on Love and Sky's team. If he brings it, it will be in playoffs. Ludicolo's strong as fuck, man. It's time for I Done That All! Let's go. I'm excited. I need to make sure that we can actually see everything as well. So when we get the room open, I'll need just a moment to crop the screen to make sure that we're looking at the battle. That's gonna be good. Now I want a clean fight. I also want a clean fight. So, Pokemon is a game where not every fight is very clean. It comes with the territory, you know? Misses and crits, that sucks, you know? Para hacks, that sucks. Flinch hacks, that sucks. You just gotta roll with the punches. I think what the difference between like a good player and a great player is that a great player can almost play around luck, right? Like you're just so good that you have an answer for when you're out of answers. Alright, I'll need just a second. I'll need to quickly get this crop up and running. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Filters. I have a crop pad. Okay, plus. Filter type, crop pad. Showdown. Done. How many cinnamon rolls do I want? You got 10? I'll take 2. I'll take a humble 2 cinnamon rolls. Okay, that's gonna take forever. How about 200? No. Let's do like 175. I'll fix that in a minute. We'll do 500 bottom. And right, we'll do like 650. Okay, that wasn't quite right. 700? That's fine. I'll just unlock my mouse. I'm gonna do this the way God intended, by just scroll wheeling it. Also, shouts to Nightfall. You're a god. You made the playlist that we're not using today. If you want to link me the playlist, that'd be awesome. I don't know if it's a public playlist or not. I wasn't able to access the Pokemon Smowdown like music playlist. So if you want to link that to me, that'd be awesome. Now let's just pull this bitch open. Actually, I need to stretch the screen, huh? Transform. That's good. Alright, I know we don't have a layover, or a layover? What the hell am I saying? An overlay. A layover is like when you're on a flight. So I know we don't have an overlay this season. It sucks. I wasn't as prepared as I'd like to be. Things will be nice. Nightfall, if you want to link me the playlist on Discord, I'll see if I can pull it up. I just need to make sure it's not like privated, because I'll have to like log into my other account, and that'd be a pain in the ass. But here we go. Alright, begin when ready. Come on, baby. Does this work? Yes! Alright, let's go! Yes! Alright, and I'll need to turn on shuffle. Alright, that's it. Shouts to Nightfall, the curator of the playlist. Welcome! Are you ready for Double Dip Draft Season 3, Top 4, Round 1? We got Aurora versus IDM, the Hoensbroek Hunters versus the Brussels Espeons. Holding it down, both of our European friends. We had 3 Europeans, I believe, this season. It was Aurora, IDM, and Vincent. We love it. We love our international brothers and sisters. I know that it is annoying as fuck to deal with American time zones, and I appreciate your resilience in playing. So, historically, this head-to-head is not amazing for Aurora, who is Whittle Doge on the screen. She has beaten IDM before, in Draft League, I believe, as well, but just in general, in our old like tournament series, she is definitely capable of beating IDM. She's really good, but IDM just always clinches it, or at least very oftentimes clinches it. IDM is kind of a behemoth, you know. He's able to bring a lot of weird shit, and he just can make it work. And I think the number one scary thing about IDM is he's in your head. Professor Xavier Charles. he's a mind reader. He's always operating one step ahead. I was watching IDM's replay versus Firebolt from the group stage, and it was insane the way that he would just do a bunch of risky stuff without even blinking, because he just knows that Firebolt's not going to click this button or switch into this Pokemon. And I think that is a huge edge. Like, IDM kind of has this reputation and this aura about him where he's a scary motherfucker. You don't want to have to play IDM. He's 7-0. He's actually 8-0 if you include round 1 of playoffs. So he's won 8 straight games, and he has yet to lose to anybody at all. So I don't know. He's just got a way with drafting. He's got a way with playing. He's got a way with predicting. He knows his way around that damage calc, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, I mean, looking at the actual teams in front of us, obviously Gastrodon, Water Ground, it's 4 times weak to Dhelmise's Stab Grass moves. In Power Whip, I believe, is the preferred physical Grass type move. Yeah, so nothing really loves switching in on a Grass-type move on IDM's team. I guess Frostmoth would be pretty good, but it's not the bulkiest thing on Earth. And if Aurora was to read, like, a switch into Frostmoth, then she could punish it pretty hard with, like, a Shadow Claw, or maybe even an Anchor Shot, which you would not want to see. Gastrodon is basically a very bulky, special attacky kind of Pokemon. It likes to toxic things, it likes to recover HP, it likes to switch in on attacks. Whereas Dhelmise, it hits things physically quite hard. And you see, I mean, wow, it just did 76 to Obstagoon like it was no problem. The problem with Dhelmise is it is kind of slow, and it's not got a very strong defensive typing. You'll see Obstagoon is actually fairly quick, fairly strong, and it's a dark type as well. So it's going to be able to do huge damage to Dhelmise's Ghost dual typing. So a lot of the times you'll find in Pokemon competitive, especially in a situation like this where you need to manage your resources like just in the right way. If Obstagoon clicks like Knock Off or Parting Shot, like there's a lot of right moves and there's a lot of wrong moves, and it's a big part of the players to kind of get in the right mindset to say, all right, sometimes I need to play safe and I need to hit what's in front of me, and sometimes I need to make some predictions. Right, you see that Throat Chop? Okay, so Colbur Berry, that's a great thing to show. So Obstagoon is dead. That's great news for Aurora, because Obstagoon is a scary motherfucker. It's got really strong coverage and it can just kind of run through a lot of stuff. That Throat Chop, so, is a dark type move. There are items in Pokemon that can do various things. Very popular items include like Choice Scarf, which lets you move faster but it locks you into one move, or Leftovers, which lets you residually heal 1/8 of your HP every turn. What Aurora brought on Dhelmise was a Colbur Berry, and there's essentially a long list of berries that will detect a specific type of super effective attack, and it will reduce the damage from specifically that kind of attack. So a Colbur Berry will have the damage from one super effective Dark-type move. And without that, Dhelmise would have died. But because of the Colbur Berry, Dhelmise was able to live one super effective Throat Chop from Obstagoon. It was able to Anchor Shot and kill it and take it out of the equation. Dhelmise got sniped from you. Yeah, you can't get too attached to a Pokemon during the draft phase, because a lot of what... So the strategy starts from before you even team build for your first opponent. The strategy comes from setting up a draft that can handle anything. And a lot of times people will sort of get an idea of the general Pokemon that they want on their team, and then you gotta hope that they don't get stolen by somebody else during the drafting process. And especially Aurora was a huge victim of that, where originally she wanted a couple of different Pokemon. I know she wanted Dracozolt, she wanted other Rain Abusers to help with Pelipper, and she really did not fare well in the drafting process. A lot of stuff that she wanted got sniped, so she had to kind of make do with a very slapped together draft by the end of the time that they were doing the draft. And that's not even her fault. I mean, sometimes you just get unlucky. And obviously she's making it work, because here she is in the top 4 of our playoffs. But man, you know, it stands to wonder, like, what if she had gotten, like, Barraskewda, or maybe a better Gigantamax, and didn't sort of run with the Rain motif? Because I know that she has struggled with using Rain effectively, and I know that at some points she has literally not even brought Gigantamax Dreadnought, or not even brought Drizzle on Pelipper. And it's just kind of, you gotta go on that journey yourself, you know? That's what happens sometimes when you don't get the Pokemon you need. And if you've never played in a draft league situation before, competition, it is hard on the body. Oh, thank you, Splatterfest, for the 28-month resub. You're sick. 7-month streak, even during my
Yo,
dry
dude,
period.
You gotta strem more.
I gotta strem more. That's right, I gotta do it for you, Splatterfest. I will. Believe it. And thank you for your resub. If you've never played in a draft league like this, or in a setting where you've really got the pressure on your back, it's hard. I mean, especially something like this where you've been doing this now since February. It's been 2 months from the start of this season, this season of Double Dip Draft, to now. And, I mean, if you lose here, that's the end of your run. You've just sunk 2 months into this, and that's what you have to show for it. I need to stream again 5 days from now so I can renew myself. Dude, believe it, I'll do it. I will, dude, I'll do it. Exactly 5 days from now. And when I forget to do that inevitably, you're allowed to get mad at me. Competition's hard. When you sink like 7 weeks, I mean, it's a minimum 7-week investment when you're doing 8 players to a division round robin, and you're doing 1 match a week. I mean, 7 weeks, that by itself is almost 2 months. And everyone had to play it out for 2 weeks. Even if you're getting your ass spanked every single week, you gotta finish it. And that can be hard on people, especially if you know at some point you're not guaranteed to make playoffs because of the way the top 4 is looking. You still got to play out the rest of your matches, and you still got to set some kind of goal for yourself to hit. And it can be tragic to not make it all the way. And a lot of people were closer than you might think. I mean, it took 2 week 7 to guarantee either bracket's playoffs. That is not always the case. Your goal was to not get 6-0'd at all, and you nailed it? Good shit. I don't think I got 6-0'd. I think if anyone 6-0'd me, it was probably Scoots. But focusing on the match at hand, Aurora is using Dragapult. And you see that Phantom Force, so it's a physical Dragapult set. Phantom Force is its, I say best, kind of loosely. Phantom Force is Dragapult's highest damage Ghost-type move, and when you're using a move in Pokemon, you do get a damage bonus if you're using a move that's the same as one of your Pokemon's types. So for example, Dragapult is a Dragon Ghost-type, Phantom Force is a Ghost-type move, it's 1.5 times the power that it would normally have. Yo, what's up, Vincent? Dude, welcome! You got Aurora versus IDM right now. And no matter what happens, we've got 4 matches, everyone's gonna play twice. And yeah, you can nickname your Pokemon as well. IDM hasn't done it here. Aurora has. Basil Goose is a nickname for Dragapult here. How do I know your name? That is... that's so funny. Aurora has never ever called you Soupman or Spoopman. Aurora only calls you Vincent, and I really only talk about you with Aurora, so I just only know you as Vincent also. Which is really funny, because you've never met me, really. But I know your first name, Vincent. Now, Phantom Force is a little bit tricky. A lot of people will run Special Dragapult instead of Physical Dragapult, because Dragapult's Special move pool is really deep, very solid, and Dragapult's Physical move pool is, like, okay, but it's not great. Well, you see Hatterene is gone. That does open up the floor for hazards pretty consistently from Aurora. And the rain being up does mean that... Dreadnaught's got Swift Swim on deck, so this could be scary. IDM has never been one to lose things, but he's not in a great position right now. The speed control is in Aurora's court, and Yeah, IDM's going to have to play it pretty smart. Now, IDM does have 2 really strong sweepers, and he does have his Gigantamax left, which Aurora also has her Gigantamax, but you can see how the status of a match, I mean, it can change on a dime. So right now, even though Aurora only has 1 more Pokemon than IDM does, the field and the circumstances are kind of stacked in her favor right now. Because she's got her Rain up, which means Dreadnought is moving twice as fast, and Dragapult by itself is already outspeeding everything on IDM's team no matter what. Yeah, Gastrodon is a tough boy to kill, and Gastrodon, I mean, to its credit, is going to be a bit of a thorn in Aurora's side, because now she doesn't have access to Delmise, which is really the only thing that's going to be able to one-shot kill Gastrodon. Yeah, you do have to think about Freeze Dry. I know that Aurora's Arctozolt has access to Freeze Dry, so I'm a little bit surprised to not see it brought here. But I was having this conversation with Firebolt earlier, where you can there's a lot of different like prevailing philosophies with regards to like how to play Pokemon most efficiently. And I remember, and this is a really good way to sort of demonstrate my own opinions about Pokemon with my mindset, is when I first started playing Pokemon, I used to run Hidden Power Water on my Rotom Wash instead of Hydro Pump, because I hated that it missed all the time. And if you know anything about meta, and that was back in Gen 6, if you know anything about Pokemon meta, you know that's awful. Like, Hidden Power Water is not good at all. You're probably thinking of Azumarill, Skittles. Azumarill's a water type who gets Sap Sipper. Finally back from cooking, let me know if you want more rolls. If you want to get me some water, actually, like some nice ice water, I would love that, because my throat's already giving me some trubs. Thank you. Also, you might notice that these turns, it can take a little while. There is a very popular thing, strategy, I guess you could say, in competitive Pokemon, which is that there exists a program called the Pokemon Showdown Damage Calculator. And what you can do is you can punch common sets and configurations of stat spreads and move combinations, and you can see about how much damage one move will do to one Pokemon. And you'll see, if someone goes silent for a really long time, what they're probably doing is they're calculating a bunch of potential outcomes to the next turn to see what the safest strategy is. You'll see IDMs just come back in with Frostmoth. Yeah, Gastrodon with Sap Sipper, I think, would have no weaknesses. Water Ground is an incredibly strong type. More than a couple Pokemon have gotten it, actually, over time. Ooh, and no confusion on the Quiver Dance. Or rather, on the Hurricane. And the Quiver Dance allows IDM to get a leg up on this. Although, I would be very surprised if this Frostmoth can kill this Pelipper in one shot. Water Ground is a typing shared by Seismitoad, Swampert, Gastrodon, and I think there's one more. Seismitoad, Gastrodon, Swampert. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. I know for sure there's at least one more. But it's a great type. It's a great offensive type. It's an incredibly good defensive type. And especially on Gastrodon, it has an ability called Storm Drain, which essentially acts as a water immunity. Which means even water it's immune to, which would be doing neutral damage on account of its part ground typing. So you can really only hit it for neutral or not very effective damage. Unless, of course, you've got Grass-type coverage. But this generation, they did a crazy thing, which was that they removed Hidden Power, which was a move that basically every Pokemon could get, that could be basically every type. Oh wow, that Ice Beam actually killed. Quagsire, that's right. Yeah, this is a very much not Volcarona. Yeah, Swampert could take dummy hits. Mega Swampert was a total terror, Generation 7. And Generation 6, but I remember it just absolutely running amok. Rain was so popular in Gen 7 on account of, like, Ash Greninja, Mega Swampert. Pelipper got access to Drizzle for the first time. I mean, Rain was insane. Oh, and Whiscash! I guess that's, like, the only bad water ground type Pokemon. It does get Dragon Dance. Now, Frosmoth is certainly not going to be outspeeding this, this Dragapult. Dragapult's speed is so high above any other Pokemon. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's technically not the fastest Pokemon. I believe Ninjask is faster. And Ninjask also gets access to Speed Boost, so it just goes right ahead of basically anything. What's up, GTP? Welcome. You've only missed, well, about 11 turns of the first match of playoffs, top 4. On this side of bracket, we have IDM versus Aurora, and on the other side of the bracket, coming up next, is going to be Firebolt versus Levensky. And that'll be a dead Frosmoth. And you'll see that Dragapult is using the move Acrobatics, which kind of says to me that this might not actually be running an item at all. A lot of times you'll see really fast Pokemon will be abused. They'll be paired with a choice item, either Choice Band for physical attackers or a Choice Specs for special attackers, which makes them, since they already move so much faster than everything else, a lot of times you'll see them paired with that choice item, so they're just doing a ton of damage, going first all the time. It makes them very consistent, but you do sacrifice a surprising amount when you're running a Choice Band, a Choice Scarf, or a Choice Specs. Only being able to choose one move per switch in, that is a big detriment, especially because of the surprisingly large amount of type immunities. I mean, there's immunities to water, there's immunities to grass, there's immunities to ground, normal, ghost, psychic. There's immunities to a ton of types, so if you get yourself locked into, let's say, a Phantom Force with a Choice Band, and IDM somehow had his... well, yeah, Obstagoon is part normal. He could switch in Obstagoon on this Choice Banded Phantom Force, and it would do 0 damage, and then you'd have to switch. Scarf Dracovish was nuts. So, Dracovish is infamous for being always choiced. I know that if you want to totally just kill, I think, literally everything in the game in one shot, you need to run Choice Band Dracovish with, like, a sticky web down on the enemy team to make sure they're slower than you, in the rain with a Choice Band. And you're just gonna do so much damage if you're going first with, like, the Strong Jaw Vicious Rend. Dracovish was crazy. I can't believe we let somebody get Dracovish and Gigantamax Corviknight. That was insane. He is a fishy boy. This goes to the Pokemon equivalent K-pop stands. They really were. Team Yell, they would post gifs of dancing, I guess, Marnie. They really only stand like 2 people. And in comes Machamp. So Machamp is a kind of a beast. So the trick with Gigantamax is we allow 1 Gigantamax Pokemon per entire draft team. So you'll see Machamp in IDM's case and Dreadnought in Aurora's case are the only Pokemon they can use that can Dynamax at all, and they can only use their Gigantamax at all. Which means Gigantamax Machamp and Gigantamax Dreadnought and so on and so forth, they will all have access to their Gigantamax specific move. Every Gigantamax has one move that only they can use that nobody else can use. Gigantamax Machamp has G-Max Chi Strike, which is a 90 a 90 base power fighting type move that will always raise his critical hit ratio, which is, I mean, it's good, it's strange. It's kind of a niche application, and it does have somewhat of a reliance on luck factor, but I mean, if you were running that with, say, a scope lens or on a Pokemon with Sniper, you could really make it work. Not that, of course, Machamp has access to Sniper, but it's crazy. And I mean, in VGC, you share your benefits with your teammates if you're playing in a doubles format. So that kind of Gigantamax crit boosting, I mean, it has its place in the meta. Although compared to other moves, like ones that would heal you or set up a certain kind of entry hazard, there's a lot of really, really strong Gigantamax exclusive moves. Dreadnought's actually, hilariously enough, kind of hinders it in the meta because Dreadnought is a Swift Swimmer. Its ability is Swift Swim, which means it moves at double speed in the rain, which is a really, really strong ability. And normally, when you Dynamax a Pokemon and use a Water-type move, it turns into G-Max, or not G-Max, it would turn into Max... Oh, what is it? Max Hydro Vortex or something? I think Hydro Vortex was the Z move. But when you use the Water-type Dynamax move, it sets up Rain. But because the Gigantamax move exclusive to Dreadnought is overriding its access to the normal Dynamax Water-type move, it doesn't set up Rain. So it cannot set up its own Rain in Dynamax despite being a Swift Swimmer. So its special move kind of only contributes to its downfall. If its move, which incidentally its special effect sets up Stealth Rocks automatically on top of being just a strong Water-type move, if that was on its Rock-type move, it would be a lot stronger. But because it overwrites its Dynamax Water move, it just doesn't work. Insert Spood dancing gif? Let's go. What's up, Logan? Dude, how are you doing, bud? I'm sorry I keep missing your netplay tourneys. I really want to play in them, and I have been working a lot. I get my weekend. This is like my first weekend in a little bit, in a hot, cute little minute. So I get today and tomorrow off. I'm real excited about it. Definitely fuck netplay, though. Dude, I played in the first netplay tournament that we ran, and I lost to that Falcon guy, and then I was in losers, and I waited like 30 minutes for this other Louisiana dude to show up, and he finally showed up like right after his time, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be a bitch about it, you know, I'll play out the match, and he lagged so fucking bad. It was the worst shit ever. We played like 2 games, and it was like pulling teeth, and I just like forfeited out. I was like, dude, there are no winners, there's only losers. And then I was the real winner that day. Even though I technically came in last place, I was the real winner because I decided not to play. The back actually gone by top 8. I do want to watch them at least. And you'll also see that the benefit to... Oh my god, that did a lot of damage anyway. There goes the Citrus Berry. So you'll notice that if you do get a critical hit, one of the really important things about landing a critical hit in Pokemon is it completely bypasses defensive stat boosts. So you'll see that this Hitmontop has set up a couple of bulk ups, and it's got a pretty hefty defense stat right now. But if IDM gets a critical hit, not only does he get the bonus damage, but it's as though that +2 defense isn't even there. You know, for what it's worth, I did really enjoy playing that Falcon in the netplay tourney. That was actually really fun. I did get my ass totally reamed, but I want to see that guy on land because I think I could totally beat him. I just like was not putting it together. But I think I had some really... my mentality was actually really good. Because I got 4-stock, I got totally shit on game 1. And then the other 3 games were like really close 1-stocks. Like lost 1-stock, won 1-stock, lost 1-stock. And I was like, dude, I actually held that together really well after getting 4-stocked. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and stealing the life orb actually allows him to live that hit. That's crazy. So he's really just gimped this Machamp by taking its item. Mindset is half the battle. I felt like I did really good with half the battle. Anyway. Wow, that close combat did nothing because he max guarded. I love Thief. You know what? You can get... Oh, and yeah, there's the Bullet Punch. And that is why... Okay, that's actually really smart. So IDM max guarded to make sure he didn't take any unnecessary damage, and then he used his priority to kill him off. Because that Bullet Punch turns into Steel Surge when you're not using... or rather, when you are using Dynamax. Yeah, I agree with that, Logan, actually. I didn't even think about it that way, but it was just like, I shook it off, because I just got totally fucked up, and then I was like, I'm still ready to go. Like, I'm still in it. And I've had sets where, like, I don't have that strong of a mentality, so even though I lost, I felt pretty alright about it. And also, it was net play, so I was able to sit there and John to myself anyway. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is a scary Machamp. Bullet Punch does pretty good damage. I mean, he's only at +1, so I guess it's not that much stronger. But, I mean, crit Bullet Punch might even straight up just kill this Dragapult. Really, you don't see defensive investments in these really fast sweeper-type Pokemon. Oh yeah, and that Acrobatics didn't do shit. And that Knock is going to absolutely kill. Ooh, and as soon as Machamp came out, it's looking kind of scary. So, Dynamic Punch or more likely Close Combat. Well, I don't know. He was running Life Orb, so he might be No Guard. Has he shown? Hold on, let me see. No, he hasn't revealed. So he might actually still have Dynamic Punch. That would be really nice if he was No Guard by Dynamic Punch. But this is pretty scary for Aurora. You're probably not going to live this hit, and even if you do, you've still got a Poltegeist in the back that can set up pretty much for free and continue to sweep the rest of the game. And that late game Poltegeist, I mean, Shell Smash, totally insane. You just slap a Sash or even a White Herb if you want a little bit more longevity, or rather, if you don't expect yourself needing a Focus Sash, you can run White Herb to keep yourself a little bit more defensively topped off, and then you can just start clicking buttons. He's also got the Focus Energy. Stone Surge does not kill. Close Combat. Crits. Oh, but it's sashed! Insanity. So, obviously, Bullet Punch is going to kill. Yep. And 2 crits, too. That's hilarious. But it is really unfortunate. Yeah, Machamp is down, and certainly Gastrodon by itself will be able to kill this thing. Just scald it until it gets burnt or spam Earth Power on it. It really doesn't have access to recovering moves. It's really slow. It's not the most specially defensive Pokemon in the world. So, unfortunately, it is pretty much a wrap for IDM. But, man, as always, Aurora gave it a good shot. And, I mean, IDM down to 2 Pokemon, that's not what you see every day. But he is just that good. Oh, well, actually, there goes Gastrodon. This actually... I definitely did not think that that was going to outspeed Gastrodon. That... Okay, I'm not going to make any calls right now, but I'm just going to watch it happen. Can you do it? Can your weird max speed Steelix make something happen? It's probably not max speed. It's probably just like semi-speed invested. Ooh, but you usually do not see... You usually do not see Steelix outspeeding anything. A lot of the times you'll run like minus speed to abuse Trick Room. But, if it's speed invested, so, I mean... Basically, it's hard to call it. Poltegeist is fairly frail. Steel type does resist Psychic. Stored Power is gonna do reduced damage. It might still kill. Shadow Ball might straight up just kill. I mean, it really just depends on sets. It depends on stats. It depends on natures. It depends on... a lot of factors. So actually, this is not over. We may have preemptively called it. In comes Poltegeist. Oh, Strength Sap. Okay, that... oh, actually... This is interesting. So, Strength Sap should bring this Poltegeist back up to full every time, but a single crit is going to cut right through this Poltegeist. And it's got weak armor, so it's going to have its defenses dropping. this actually still isn't over. Because look, the defense is going to drop every time the attack drops. So that's as much damage as it's going to do. This might just be like a PP stall situation. What's healing the Poltegeist? So Strength Sap is a move where you heal by the amount of the enemy's attack stat, and then you drop it by 1. So this Poltegeist is going to be constantly dropping Steelix's attack stat. But the problem is, Poltegeist has weak armor, which is an ability where if it takes a physical hit, it drops its defense stat to raise its speed. The problem is, eventually it's going to bottom out, and Aurora might actually just win. And if at any point she gets a crit, she'll just win anyway. I think she may have just made this happen. Ironhead does have 100% accuracy as well. And they're calling it in chat. Great start to playoffs. I mean, even if, like, no matter who wins, this is a nail biter. I mean, to get down to this level. But yeah, I mean, and the thing is, the Strength Sap would have just been a clear win. I mean, 100%. The problem is the Curse Body, or not the Curse Body, but the weak armor. Yeah, crazy start to playoffs too, no matter what. Oh, and that's it. IDM concedes, hits him. That's it. That's it. Aurora hits him with the Iron Head and pulls off a crazy upset. I mean, it's crazy, but it's also not so crazy because she's good. Aurora is so good, and she can beat IDM. She has been able to make it happen in the past, but she has such a mental block with this one guy. This, I mean, it's bigger than itself. This is an upset that is enormous, and Aurora's popping off in chat. IDM, thank you so much for playing. You're nuts. Please stay in the chat. We do need you for the bronze match. You're going to be playing the loser of Love and Sky versus Firebolt, which we'll be moving on to in just a moment. But congratulations, Aurora, securing the first of 2 spots for Grand Finals. Going to be going up against the winner of Love and Sky and Firebolt for a chance to win the entire season of Double Dip Draft and win a shiny trophy after coronavirus is gone, and I could buy one of those. Absolutely insane. Very, very well played. And thank you for putting on a show for the folks at home, the people. It's all about the people. Thank you for joining us. We got 22 people here. We're so happy to have you all with us today to celebrate the conclusion of Double Dip Draft Season 3. We've only got 3 more games of the entire season. I'll go ahead and we'll take just a moment. I need to adjust a couple of things just on the site's back end. So I'll probably go dark for just a moment. If you don't mind, I need Firebolt and Love and Sky to please, if you're in the chat, let me know, send me a link to your match when you've got it up and running. Oh, Love and Sky forfeits? That's crazy. Unfortunate, man. And make sure that you save the replay. I'm going to make a copy of the replay myself, but it's always good to have multiple people doing it. So let me... And I have gotten the link to the battle. That's perfect. Oh, you know what I just got to do? Yep. Okay. And we'll get back to this in just a minute. So I do appreciate your patience while we're going dark. I'll head over to starting soon, so you have some Pokeballs to look at. I do need to quickly manipulate just a few things here in the back. I'm gonna have to quickly confirm out that match. Or I guess I don't have to do that. Actually, we don't need to do that, do we? No, I'm not going to worry about it right now. We'll mess with the inputting stats in just a little bit. Because right now we got Pokemon to play, and we got Pokemon to watch, more importantly. Firebolt versus Love and Sky. This is not a semifinals match. This should not be a semifinals match. These are not well-seeded players. In fact, I believe, according to seeding, neither of these players was supposed to make it to playoffs at all, let alone top 4, winner's side, waiting for a chance at grand finals. One of these two people, and no matter who wins, it's a historic run in our series. Firebolt, he's gone fairly far in the past. He barely did not qualify for playoffs. In Season 2, he lost one game by one missed Floor Cannon from his Magearna. And if he had won that game in Season 2, he would have made it to playoffs. And yet, he wasn't able to make it happen. He got screwed by pure happenstance. But Firebolt's here. After having bad seasons, after getting lucked out of playoffs in Season 2, he's sitting here in top 4. It is very exciting. I'm still talking, Love and Sky. I'm giving us the intro. I'm hyping the people. That's Firebolt's story. He's the comeback kid. He's made it all the way to top 4, despite essentially the odds being completely stacked against him. And he has just completed what I believe is arguably the biggest upset in Double Dip history by beating Scoots, who was advancing into top 8, completely undefeated on his side of bracket, the same way IDM was. And he lost to Firebolt, fair and square. No lucks, no sucks, no cucks. He just beat him. And now he's here fighting Love and Sky. And Love and Sky is even more of a far out there story, because while Firebolt has a history of playing Pokemon, of being adjacent to the tournaments, and even though he hasn't had like a crazy run or a crazy win to show for it, he's had a history, right? Love and Sky has no history. He played his first Pokemon game ever last year on stream. He doesn't know the type matchups by hand. If he filled out the Pokemon quiz for the first 150 Pokemon, he'd get like 20. This guy is so new to Pokemon, and yet he is such a natural. I mean, when you look at his matches, I mean, he's beaten Aurora, he's beaten Nick, he's beaten he's beaten Kenneth, who's been playing since way back in like Gen 4. I mean, he's beaten people who've been playing this game longer than he's been on the internet. And he hasn't even touched it since last year, or until last year. But he's here, and he takes his notes. He does his due diligence. Love and Sky, he's a researcher. He is a devoted champion, and he is a contender. He's a melee player. He is someone who he's gone to tournaments, and he'll put himself out there. And if he gets beaten 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 100 times, he always comes back, and he's ready to learn, and he's ready to execute. And he has made this look like a cakewalk. He showed up and he said, Double Dip draft? Players with a history, a tenure? I don't need any of that. I can just show up and win. All you need to do is make it happen. And he's making it happen. Here he is versus Firebolt. All these players have to do, one of them has to beat the other to make it to grand finals. And if Firebolt makes it, if Love and Sky makes it, either way, this is a historic grand finals to see one of these players make the run. And if one of them wins, unprecedented. That having been said, I'm going to let them know that they can begin whenever they're ready. Oh, and it's exciting. So when they did their match, and it's interesting to note this, when these two played their match in group stage, because again, these are all rematches, they had a strange match. Love and Sky's Gigantamax Pikachu beat all 6 of Firebolt's Pokemon. It was 5-1. Firebolt did kill one of Levinsky's Pokemon before the Pikachu came out, but Levinsky's Pikachu swept every single one of Firebolt's Pokemon by itself. It was a total slaughter. I mean, it was kind of hard to watch, frankly. So that is almost a benefit to Firebolt. The way we were talking, Logan was here earlier, and we were talking about the mentality between like a 4-stock and a 3-stock. In addition to just a mentality where you can say, whatever, I got 6-0'd, it was a fluke, there's also not a lot of information to work with. You know, Levinsky didn't get a chance to see what makes Firebolt's team tick. He didn't get to really look under the hood and say, here's the switch into this, here's the counter to that. And of course, now they're doing another run with some slightly modified teams, I imagine. It's scary. Oh, and that crit surf is really bad. Oh no. Crit surf turn 1. Let me make sure that this... I'm still watching. So that's crazy. Cramorant just surfed and crit and killed Claydol. That is not great for Levinsky. He does want his switch-ins to be on deck, but when you kind of look at the Pokemon that they have, like Firebolt's Colossal, the way it reverse-swept Scoots, or his Komao, with its various really strong setup potential, versus Levinsky, who's got his Gigantamax Pikachu, which has been shown to be able to sweep all 6 of his Pokemon. He's got Ludicolo with potentially Swift Swim. He's got a Bisharp that could have Sucker Punch. He's got a Gyarados that can set up Moxie Dragon Dance. I mean, Levinsky has 1.5 million ways to sweep Firebolt's team, and all he has to do is find one that's strong enough to get through. So Firebolt is still playing quite a defensive game, and you'll even see, oh wow, and that Cramorant just lived the Thunderbolt too. Did not manage to kill this Frostlass, but if Cramorant stays in, its Gulp Missile ability will kill Frostlass, which you'll see right now. And now Levinsky's down 2 Pokemon. Firebolt's just lost his Cramorant. That does open up Levinsky's Ludicolo a lot. But it's kind of scary, man. When you're Levinsky and you lose your Claydol like that. Was there a Pikachu and Cramorant? Cramorant is a fun Pokemon. It is weird. It has an ability called Gulp Missile, which is its exclusive ability. And when it uses Surf, if it's above half HP, it gets a Barraskewda in its mouth. And if it's below half HP, it gets a Pikachu in its mouth. And then the next time it takes a hit, it will do damage back to its attacker. And if it's got a Barraskewda in its mouth, it'll lower their defense by 1. If it's got a Pikachu in its mouth, it will paralyze them. If, of course, they are able to be paralyzed. They're not a ground or an electric type. And Cramorant, kind of a sleeper pick. It was a pretty low-tier Pokemon, but it has come through for Firebolt a lot. And Togekiss, as well, is kind of a cheesy Pokemon. Oh, in Aurasphere, Levinsky's taking a lot of just one-and-done hits. Levinsky's down to 3 Pokemon. He needs to find some momentum. And it's not too late. I mean, between Swift Swim, Ludicolo, his Gigantamax Pikachu, and his, potentially, his Dragon Dance Sweeper, Gyarados, if he's running that. He also does run, on occasion, a bulkier Intimidate Assault Vest set on Gyarados. Depending on what he's got, I mean, he's still got 3 potential sweepers that could clean up Firebolt's entire team. It is scary, though, because Togekiss is kind of the arbiter of, I click this button and you don't get to move. It has the ability Serene Grace, which is an ability that essentially lets your move's secondary effects trigger twice as often. So if your, let's say, Air Slash has a 30% chance to flinch, which it does, then with Serene Grace, it has a 60% chance to flinch, which means if you're getting hit by a Serene Grace Air Slash, you're flinching more turns than you're not flinching. So, I mean, just even a little bit of luck helping with Togekiss. And also, that is infamously what Jirachi likes to do as well with Ironhead, a more physical variant. You can just kind of lock somebody in place and hit them over and over and over again. And as long as they just keep rolling under that 66, they'll keep getting flinched. Although, of course, to get a flinch, you do have to go first. Togekiss already was one behind this Gyarados, and now it's set up a +2. Now this Gyarados is outspeeding a lot of Firebolt's team. I believe it's even outspeeding his Boltund, which is an incredibly fast Pokemon. Normally, if you're Firebolt, Boltund is kind of your revenge killer for Gyarados, but now that Gyarados is so fast, you can't really be too consistent. And this Gyarados, since it's running Dragon Dance, it's probably got Moxie. It doesn't have Intimidate. I don't know if it even gets a third ability. So certainly, if this Gyarados starts getting on a tear, I mean, it could just start getting kills. It is scary, though, if you're Firebolt, because if you lose your Boltund, that's the only Pokemon you have that's going to outspeed Pikachu, and you might just lose to it again. It's a scary situation, because if Pikachu gets off a nasty plot, it's one-shot killing every single one of Firebolt's Pokemon, depending on its set, granted. But that is what happened last time. And Levinsky can still live another Air Slash if he decides he wants to get really greedy. But this is where you're starting to bust out the damage calculator. Oh, it's got Iron Head! And Moxie triggers. He's at +3 attack. No Mega, so no Mold Breaker. Oh yeah, I forgot about Mold Breaker. Blech. So he's got Iron Head. He's shown that he's got Iron Head. He's probably got Waterfall, because if you don't run Waterfall on your Gyarados, you're kind of weird. I guess he might be running, like, Earthquake. But what else is he going to be running? Gyarados can learn a variety of really powerful moves. I know, notably, it's got Power Whip, which would do really well against something like IDM's Gastrodon, but not so much against Firebolt's team. Iron Head is really scary, though, because if he has a fear that one of Firebolt's Pokemon has a Sash, he can gamble on that 30% flinch and just negate it anyway. And I do kind of like Cofagrigus here to potentially stall out the sweep, because Cofagrigus, it can get Will-O-Wisp, which will, if it gets the burn off, it can have the damage. And Mummy, as well, will prevent him from setting up any more Moxie. So you see, he's now stuck at +3. He won't get up to +4, +5, +6 if he keeps killing Pokemon. But now, Firebolt's been opened up pretty hard. Like I said earlier, Levinsky's got sweepers. And if Firebolt lets Levinsky's sweepers get going, they start to go really hard. And you don't really want to see another repeat of last game. Firebolt, you're really going to need to show us a Sash or some kind of well-calced attack. Maybe you need to exploit a weakness in its moveset. But if he's putting out Kommo-o, it's kind of looking grim. Now, Kommo-o can just go for broke here. Kommo-o is Firebolt's primary setup sweeper, and it has access to 2 incredibly strong moves for setting up its attack. And that's going to be Belly Drum, which is a more traditional, I give half my health for maximum attack. Or another similar approach is Kommo-o has its own exclusive move called, I believe, Clangorous Soul, and it kind of emulates its exclusive Z move from last generation, which is where it sacrifices a third of its HP. Oh, and there goes Clanging Scales! He actually does manage to live one! That's insane. With Clangorous Soul, you give a third of your HP to add 1 to every one of your stats. And Firebolt's able to halt the sweep there. But Levinsky, he's still got Ludicolo, he's still got Pikachu. And out it comes. Now, Pikachu does outspeed Kommo-o, if it's not Scarf. And Pikachu doesn't really have the luxury of running an alternate item like a Sash or a Scarf or something like that. Pikachu is almost always going to be running a Light Ball, because without it, it does so little damage, it's absolutely not worth running, even Gigantamaxed. So I would be shocked if we did not see a Light Ball here. And since that's the case, that means that you can pretty reliably count on, if I hit this Pikachu, it will die. If this Pikachu is slower than me, it'll stay slower than me. This Pikachu won't have any kind of unaccountable increase in stats. All you have to do is put in Light Ball. And there goes Como. The only thing maxing does is rage HP. That's right, but I mean, you get access to certain moves as well. And out comes Colossal. G-Max against G-Max. Now, Colossal has bulk, but it's also 4 times weak to water, and Pikachu notably does get and often does run Surf. But, I mean, on the other side of things, Pikachu is a non-fully evolved Pokemon that can't even run Eviolite. It is gonna die in like 1 Earthquake. And there's Max Geyser. Colossal holds on just barely. Pikachu goes down! Colossal not running Steam Engine this time. Which means that this, what do you call him? This little guy, Ludicolo, is going to be able to clean up Colossal, and then it comes down to another 1v1. It's going to be Ludicolo versus Boltund. It's all about sets. It's all about calcs. Swift Swim Ludicolo, more than likely. I believe a Scarf Boltund might be able to outspeed it. I mean, Scarf Boltund is pretty fast. But so is Swift Swim Ludicolo. And he's in here with the speed. He doesn't take super effective from electric moves either on account of his part grass typing. It's almost a coin toss. Which one of you is going to take it all the way to Grand Finals? It all comes down to what past Love and Sky and past Firebolt clicked on their team builder. You can hear a pin drop, man. My heart's beating, and I'm not even playing. Big Scald. No burn. Thunderfang doesn't kill. Ludicolo outspeeds! That should be all she wrote for Firebolt. Is Love and Sky the new player, the first timer, gonna take it all the way to Grand Finals? Click those buttons, boys. 15 turn battle. Let's see it. Quick attack. I mean, he could just quick attack. If he has it. And before a priority move. I don't believe that either of these Pokemon have access to good priority. There's the Scald, and that is all she wrote. Love and Sky, the first timer in an absolute nail-biter set, taking it all the way to Grand Finals, where he's going to get the run back against Aurora from week 1. Absolutely insane. And give it up for Firebolt. Top fucking 4. Firebolt, you better stay your ass here if you can hear me, because you need to be available for our bronze match, which is going to be happening right now. I will give you just a minute if you want a minute, Firebolt. I do need to let you know. Let's see. Gotta reach out. Predicted the future 5 years ago. What's your tweet, buddy? Let's see. You did this to yourself. At Sliftstorm. Hashtag shit. I don't know what that means. Alright. That having been said, Grand Finals has been decided. We're going to be seeing Aurora versus Love and Sky. And believe it or not, Aurora is one of Love and Sky's upsets that he made in group stage of bracket. It was Aurora versus Love and Sky week 1. They were shaking off the rust. We are doing bronze match first. I'm just talking about yours because it was asked about in chat. We're doing bronze match, IDM and Firebolt. If you could get your game started and send me the link as soon as possible. Aurora was Love and Sky's very first Draft League match, and he managed to make a crazy upset week 1 on Aurora. And now they've clawed all the way back up. Aurora has conquered her demon in IDM. Love and Sky has made the run of his goddamn life, and now they get the run back. Is Aurora, the seasoned vet, gonna prove that Love and Sky is a fluke, or is Love and Sky gonna show the world that he deserves to be first place his first season? I'm quaking in my boots. I love Double Dip playoffs, dude. The good Pokemon always waits to show itself eventually, and it is a treat to get to watch it. We got hype in chat, boys. I'm chewing on this now quite cold cinnamon roll. Thank you, Nick, for making this for me. We are just waiting on Firebolt versus IDM. What happened? You didn't do anything. I was just saying thank you for the cinnamon rolls. I'm eating them now. They're a little cold. Which is not your fault. I've simply had some commentary to do, you know? I had to type that message with one hand. Sorry, IDM, if that sounded like passive-aggressive. I said Yuffie Firebolt ASAP, and I realized it sounded kind of mean. No ill intent, my friend. And also, thanks everybody for showing up, for spectating some good Pokemon. Really appreciate the 20 of you sticking around. Oh, there it is. Ah. Goodbye, cinnamon rolls. You'll have to wait. You're 5% of the problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the bronze match. We've got IDM versus Firebolt. This is not the expected outcome, I will say. IDM being sent to bronze, it's happened now more than once. But IDM always makes the deepest run. He was in the bronze match for Season 1, actually, for Double Dip. He lost to Scoots in Round 1 of that playoffs. And he made kind of a mockery of the bronze match. He said, "Do you think I really deserve to be in the bronze match?" And he slapped the shit out of Your Best Elevator. It was awful. I would not recommend going back and watching that VOD. He systematically just dismantled him. And here he is again versus Firebolt. They've got nothing to lose. It's all about getting that third place. This is your tiebreaker. So, I don't know. Sometimes you can breathe a little easier when you know, like, alright, Grand Finals isn't on the line here. This is just, this is for pride. Come on, this is for my third place win. Do I want third place? Yeah, sure. Am I gonna lose my mind if I don't get it? Probably not. And they both do have Colossal, which is fun. I always love watching the Gigantamax go against its counterpart. See, Firebolt's got regular, or rather, Firebolt's got Gigantamax Colossal, and IDM's Colossal is the regular one. We should do these in Melee. Do we actually? We should. And when you look at Firebolt's team versus IDM's, it looks about standard for 5th and 6th, 7th, and 8th. Dude, Scar lost his bronze match. And he's still pissed about it. Like, some people care. Wouldn't that just be hype? Like, no money on it, no official placing, I guess. I mean, it's official placing here, but like for 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th tiebreakers, that's hype. How would you do... Oh yeah, no, I guess 2 people tie for 7th, huh? You wouldn't be able to do it from 9th. It is hype because they care. And Firebolt leading. So he has run this Bronzong traditionally as kind of this weird, bulky, physical attacker. Bronzong is usually more seen as like a utility Pokemon and kind of a wall. You know, you set up Toxic, you set up your rocks, you kind of hit Hatterene real hard, right where it hurts. And Hatterene is one of the few Pokemon that actually might just be slower than Bronzong, so Firebolt does kind of just get a free extra hit. Yep. And IDM knows it too. I think IDM maybe got a little bit overzealous going into Hatterene, perhaps predicting Firebolt to double out into a different Pokemon. And Hatterene is a really strong Pokemon, especially because it's one of the, I think, only 2 Magic Bouncers, or I guess 3 in this generation. You've got Espeon, you've got Xatu, and you've got Hatterene. And if I'm forgetting any, then, you know, roast me in the chat, but Hatterene is really strong because it can force the opponent not to go for status spam or hazard spam, and it's also really slow and really special attack heavy. So if you get off like a Trick Room, Hatterene can be a crazy sweeper. It gets Calm Mind, you know, it just kind of clicks some buttons, you know. It's a very reliable, kind of slow, semi-bulky, just Fairy Psychic type Pokemon. And this Bronzong just eats food. Scald only doing 22. Can still possibly live another one. It might be a roll. See, in Pokemon, in addition to many other things, there are damage rolls, which are essentially when you do a hit, even if it doesn't crit, even if there's no affected stats offensively or defensively, a hit just has a certain level of inconsistency to it. Like, sometimes a hit will do a little more or a little less damage. So you see Scald has done 22% in a row, twice in a row. Sometimes it'll do 21, sometimes it'll do 23, sometimes it might do 24 or 20 or 19, or, you know, it depends. It's kind of hard to suss those things out without access to a damage calculator, if you're eyeballing it. But usually you can pretty reliably say, all right, I hit that move, it did 22%, it could probably do anywhere from like 21 to 24, or like 21 to 23, or 20 to 24. The damage rolls are not that severe, and they don't always matter, but sometimes, man, they just do. And this this Bronzong is just clicking buttons. IDM is just taking damage on like so many Pokemon. And this Bronzong has not switched out. It stayed its ground for 8 turns and it's just clicking buttons. IDM takes a moment to set up a light screen. IDM has gotten some lip from Aurora in the past for aggressively spamming light screen and reflect. Light Screen and Reflect, incidentally, are moves that are quite strong, actually. They have only a bit of niche applicability to the meta, because they do require a bit of an investment on your team-building part to make them work properly. But Light Screen will have the damage all special attacks do to your team for anywhere from 4 to 8 turns, and Reflect does the same for physical attacks. Some Pokemon only learn Reflect, some Pokemon only learn Light Screen. A handful of Pokemon learn both, and there's also the item Light Clay, which will double the length of the screens from 4 to 8 turns. So if you invest really heavily, for example, Klefki in Gen 7 was a really, really strong screen setter because it had Prankster, it had like a decent, not amazing defensive typing, but mostly you could count on it to live a hit after it set up its necessary screen, and then you could set up a second one with Light Clay, and then you had 7 turns with both screens, 1 turn with the extra screen that you chose to put up second. And that stuff can matter. And then there is Aurora Veil, which is a new screen that was introduced, I believe, Gen 7, quite recently. And it has, essentially, it's just a light screen and a reflect rolled into one, but you can only set it up if you know the move and it's in Hail. So it's supposed to be kind of a buff to Hail teams. It's not the strongest move. I think most people generally will just run Light Screen Reflect with Light Clay, because setting up Hail is harder than you might think. And Firebolt attempting to get a sub off, but IDM just Earth Powers. He knows he's got to hit this Como and pressure it out. And Firebolt revealing sub. IDM might pick up on certain quirks of the moveset. Not to say that Klenger, Soul, Kommo can't run Substitute, but you generally will see sub Salic Berry. Salic Berry being a pinch berry, which activates at 25% HP or less. That activates a +1 speed boost. You'll see a lot of Pokemon run sub Salic Berry because Substitute takes 25% to put up a Substitute, and then the pinch berry will activate at 25% HP remaining. So you can either put up 3 substitutes and have them knocked down to activate your berry, or if you are, let's say, a Slurpuff or a Kommo or an Azumarill, you can run Substitute, Belly Drum, Salic Berry, and Belly Drum does 50% to your health, Substitute does 25. That'll always bring you down to 25%, and then you'll have that sub up, you'll have +1 speed, and you'll have +6 attack. Yeah, you don't really love seeing Hail. And getting Hexed kind of sucks. Gastrodon gets burned, so Hex is a move that is a Ghost-type move. I believe it's base 70 power, and it doubles its damage if it's being used on a foe that has a status affliction. So the Cofagrigus set that Firebolt is running here is you set up a Will-O-Wisp, you burn the enemy Pokemon, and then you just let them have a Hex. 140 base power, just boom, boom, boom. IDM, of course, hard switches into Vikavolt, which admittedly won't do that much damage to Cofagrigus, unless it crits hit like that. Never mind. Man, crits distributed. Ooh, and Machamp comes in. It's probably Guts, given that he hard switched it in there. And Guts is another thing to worry about. You'll notice with Pokemon, it's kind of a nesting doll situation where there's a trillion things that you might have happen to you. But Guts is an ability that Machamp and a few other Pokemon get, where if you are burned, your attack is doubled instead of halved, which means that if he's running Guts, we don't know that necessarily yet, if he's running Guts, then Firebolt may have just powered him up. Kommo comes in on Vikavolt. And Kommo is looking for an opportunity to get set up. He may find it with this Vikavolt, though. And even if he doesn't, he could just go for a raw attack here. IDM is kind of forced to either sack this, go into something, and risk letting Firebolt set up a Belly Drum. And he just goes for it. Does Vikavolt take him out? Oh, he doesn't! +1 speed Kommo, +6! Does G-Max Machamp live? Actually, it gets Bullet Punch, which may kill from 7, especially if it's Guts boosted. Let's see. Yep, Bullet Punch is going to clean up Kommo. Unfortunate. Yeah, smart move by IDM. He allows himself to nip that in the bud. The Volt Switch allows him to get some momentum, get into Machamp, and then hit the clean Bullet Punch to kill. This is Granddad, also. This is a meme mix. We have these a little interspersed through our playlist, courtesy of Nightfall. Thank you, bud. I love you. You're the best. And here comes the G-Maxes. Chi Strike does a ton of damage to this Colossal. Oh, Firebolt does not go for Volcalith, which actually might be bad. Yeah, and you'll see that G-Max Chi Strike comes back in. Life Orb and Burn are kind of whittling down this Machamp, but he's still got a turn of Gigantamax. And it is looking quite grim for Firebolt. This Togekiss is going to have to put the team on its back. Oh, 5% chance. 5% chance to miss. And he got crit! I mean, he was set up with Chi Strike, so I guess it's not that crazy that he got crit. But that's a 5% chance for Air Slash to miss. Could have opened up for his Boltund a little bit. Come on, buddy. You gotta get one. IDM is that kind of guy who will just, like, start moving Pokemon around, even if he's guaranteed to win, to try to preserve the 6-0. So let's see if IDM allows himself to take a sack, or nope, he's going right into Gastrodon. Oh, and Firebolt gets the huge defense drop on the Crunch. That's actually enormous, because that means that the Crunch is going to beat his Recover. Very nice. But Earth Power kills it. No Sash. And in that situation, IDM preserves the 6-0 and says, hey, I'm in Bronze. Fuck you guys. Do I deserve to be in bronze? Quit putting me in the damn bronze match! That's what IDM is saying right now. And Firebolt, valiant effort, unfortunately finishes out in 4th. But you can't say unfortunately finishes in 4th. He's in 4th place out of 16 players. He made it all the way to the bronze match. And I do not envy the man who has to play IDM 4 for 3rd place. But let's all give IDM and Firebolt some love. They put on a great show for us today. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for playing in Double Dip Season 3. You guys are the best. And it would not be Double Dip without our excellent, wonderful, motivated, and real sweetie pie contestants who are willing to put everything on the line. If you're willing to lose on stream, then you're a damn champion. And that having been said, there is one more match. There is only one more match for top 4. Grand Finals. Love and Sky versus Aurora. Yeah, IDM wants you to know. IDM always wants you to know. Let me close out these. Close out that. And then IDM versus Firebolt. All right. Whenever you're ready, Aurora versus Love and Sky Grand Finals. Let's make it happen, Captain. The culmination of 9 weeks of grinding, of studying, of playing, of working. This is actually such a jam. This is it. Hold on. I'm gonna loop this one, and I'm gonna turn it up. Okay, I'm not gonna turn it that high. To celebrate Sword and Shield, to celebrate Grand Finals for Double Dip Draft Season 3, Aurora, Love and Sky, please provide me your link whenever you're ready. So we've had 2 Nailbiter 1-0s and a dominant 6-0 performance in the bronze match. What are we going to see for Grand Finals? This is for all the marbles. Any misses, any crits, any shenanigans, frankly, are permanent. There is no bouncing back from Grand Finals. What's going on, Eastwind? Welcome to Grand Finals Double Dip Draft Season 3. We got Aurora. We got Love and Sky. We've got rain on rain. There we go. Are you ready for the final match of Double Dip Draft Season 3? Dude, I'm so excited. It's been 9 weeks since we got here. And remember, Aurora, by seed, is the favorite to win. Love and Sky, when they last played, beat Aurora. And look, Pikachu family reunion. We started this league before quarantine. We've been through so much together. And it's such a beautiful bookend too, isn't it? To see the upset champion. To see Aurora, fresh off of an IDM win for top 4, for playoffs, for grand finals, versus Love and Sky, who upset Aurora week 1. Week 1! It's been 9 weeks since they've played each other. Crazy stuff. And when you look at the teams, I wish that I could remember how IDM versus Aurora went, but... sorry, not IDM, excuse me. It's hard to remember how Love and Sky versus Aurora went because it was such a long time ago. But all I remember is that Love and Sky won. And I do remember, notably, Aurora struggled to make effective use out of a physical Dragapult set. I expect, and my only real prediction here, and I hope I don't get proven wrong because I'm a smart boy and I like to think that I've got some good insight to share. I think that Aurora is going to invest in a special Dragapult. Wow, okay. Focus Blast does a ton of damage. Ooh, this is such a jam! Are you hyped? Focus Blast is a hugely powerful, 70% accurate fighting type special move. A lot of times people will run Focus Blast because it's all they've got. Now, to bank your success on a Focus Blast hit, well, if you're that kind of person, then that's the risk you'll take. Me personally, if I don't have to run Focus Blast, I will not run Focus Blast. But, like I said, I mean, it's not like a 50% accurate move. It's not like running Zap Cannon to cover an electric weakness. You just have to go for it. And he manages to land, or excuse me, she manages to land 2 Focus Blasts in a row. Scary stuff for Lovenskay. But he did lose his first Pokemon last turn, or rather last game, to Firebolt, and he still made it happen. You're early in the game, there's a lot of possibilities. You can't get too hung up on something like that. Oh, Flare Blitz crit! Oh, and a burn! What are the odds? Oh my god! Just barely doesn't kill on account of the leftovers recovery. That's insane. Lovenskay said, "You're gonna intimidate me? Sit down! Later! Oh my god, he's just gone! Get out of here, Hitmontop! Get out of here! Do you know who you're talking to? This is Lovenskay! I beat you once, Aurora, I'm gonna do it again! Lovenskay, he remembers that crit from Firebolt on his Claydol. He's gonna pay it forward now when it matters. And now Aurora's got some thinking to do. They're at 5-5, it's still pretty early game, and a crit like that stings, especially in Grand Finals, but you gotta take it on the chin. Burn ultimately didn't matter too much since Lovenskay still outsped, although it may have dissuaded a Hitmontop priority move. Out comes Pelipper setting up Rain. That could stall any kind of offensive pressure from Arcanine using electric attacks, or rather using fire attacks, but Arcanine, notably for whatever reason, has access to the move Wild Charge, which is a physical electric type move, and Pelipper does not get along with electric type moves. It is a 4 times weak Pokemon. It does not love taking big hits. Ooh, crazy! Lovenskay just hard switches in his Bisharp, takes a ton of damage from that Scald, luckily does not receive a burn. And Bisharp is a Pokemon that puts on a ton of pressure. Despite being really slow, it has a crazy high attack stat and access to Sucker Punch with Stab. Oh, and you see it does a ton of damage there. But, yeah, you see, I mean, if Bisharp could find an opportunity to get in with a Swords Dance and then start doling out Sucker Punches, I mean, that's kind of scary. Out comes Pikachu, which does outspeed a non-Scarf variant Pelipper. And you never know, I mean, Scarf Pelipper is not exactly the wave in the meta, but you could see it in a draft league. You can see anything in a draft league. You've got to be prepared for any possibility. They might bring fucking... You know, they might just bring a Torment Alakazam. They might just bring an Imprisoned Gardevoir. It's draft league. You have more control over what your opponent brings and less control over what you can bring. But that does mean, if you've got the tools, you can start pulling out some wacky shenanigans. And Pikachu does put out a lot of pressure. Rain for anywhere from 3 to 6 more turns. Arctozolt comes in hard. Pikachu goes right for the G-Max. Max Overgrowth sets up grassy terrain. This Arctozolt can kind of just sit on this Pikachu. Arctozolt does also get access to Stomping Tantrum, which was something that Aurora did bring last time. And almost certainly that's going to be able to kill this Pikachu. even with the Gigantamax. Oh, Avalanche. Sky gives himself a second to scout, to see what exactly is happening here. Tries to go for the double max guard, just trying to cheese out some turns from the rain, presumably. That is the question, isn't it? If Arctozolt Scarf, I mean, you know, Avalanche is something. And certainly, it does get Volt Absorb. That means that Sky's Pikachu is probably running Grass Knot, since you saw the max overgrowth. And it's a huge blow for Sky to lose his Gigantamax momentum like that. And Pelipper is still up. Pelipper can still set up Rain for Dreadnought. Pelipper can still do a lot of unfortunate stuff here. Pikachu just barely manages to live a Bolt Beak. Bolt Beak is a crazy powerful move. This thing isn't Scarf, so it won't be able to outspeed. And Sky relinquishes his Pikachu here to get a safe switch. Almost certainly going to be bringing in Arcanine, which is capable of outspeeding and certainly living a hit from this thing. Assuming, of course, it still has a decent amount of HP. Yeah, it's a 72. Since this thing is not Scarf, Bolt Beak shouldn't be too much to worry about. Sky's got a lot to think about. This is for first place. The Intimidate also is helpful. But this Arcanine is going to be such an important pivot tool. Sky's win condition is looking more and more like it's not necessarily in a good spot. You know, if you're Levin, you want a strong sweep, maybe to set something up with your Gyarados, or maybe you have access to... I mean, this thing isn't choice, is it? It might be. You could have, like, Banded Extreme Speed could maybe come in handy, but you gotta remember that Dragapult's a Ghost type. Extreme Speed's not gonna do anything. And Flare Blitz gets a nice burn. Sky's had a lot of luck with these Flare Blitz burns. And if he's faster than Pelipper, he can get a little bit more. He can actually kill this Pelipper, I think guaranteed. His Flare Blitz did 19% last time. Yeah, Sky just needs to distribute burns. He needs the luck to swing to his favor now. Yeah, there's the crit. The crit didn't really matter, but certainly the burn did. And in comes this monster. Like I said, if it's in rain, it's Swift Swim. This Dreadnaught's moving at double speed. And Sky's not going to love taking a rock or a water type hit from this thing. Is Lockjaw going to finally find some use? Because Aurora has been complaining about this damn thing all season. She does not like Gigantamax Dreadnought. It has not been coming through for her when it's needed to. And I believe we did confirm that there's no Damp Rock on that Pelipper. So, only 3 turns. Finally sweeping in the finals. Wouldn't that just be a poetic way to end things? If you're Sky, you're either giving up your Arcanine now, or you're switching out and risking a Swords Dance. Or just a raw G-Max. I mean, 3 turns, 3 Pokemon left. If you get a kill per turn, that's your G-Max. I mean, you did it. One's really got to think about this. And Arcanine could be Scarfed as well, although I don't think Scarf Arcanine is going to outspeed a Swift Swim Dreadnought. So even if it is Scarfed, it doesn't really matter. He's going to take a hit no matter what. A lot of chin scratching and finger waggling right now. Furiously calking, I imagine. And this is a comeback story for Aurora, who lost to IDM in group stages, who lost to Love and Sky in group stages, to make the comeback, frankly, of a lifetime, and to beat two people that upset you, or rather, you know, only one of them upset you, but both of them beat you in group stage. To come back on stream in front of all these people with everything on the line. Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within grand finals of Double Dip Draft Season 3. There's Stone Surge. Manages to live any turn of this Gigantamax that Love and Sky can burn is so important. Stone Surge kills. In comes Frostlass. Notably does not get Freeze Dry. Max Roxfall is gonna kill. And that's it for the rain. It was gonna run out anyway, but now there's a Sandstorm up. Lockjaw loses his speed boost. Or rather, her speed boost. Intimidate. Probably not gonna be enough to warrant living a hit. Maybe with another Flare Blitz burn, but even then you're doing damage to yourself, and it's hard to kill this thing if you don't have access to Wild Charge. Love and Sky at match point. It does have Wild Charge. No crit. Lockjaw Liquidation. That's it! 4-0! Aurora wins Double Dip Draft Season 3! That's it! Love and Sky taking second place on his first season ever. He doesn't even play Pokemon. He didn't have it on his Game Boy Advance when he was a kid. He didn't have a Squirtle that he loved. He came in and he kicked fucking ass. And Aurora said, not today. IDM beat me, I don't care. Love and Sky beat me, I don't care. That's game. Insane. What a top 4. What a season. And if you guys are interested, I'd be more than happy to reach out and do some interviews. Aurora, would you like to come on? We can do an interview. If not, that's chill. Love and Sky, you're also more than welcome. Firebolt, IDM, if you guys want to come on and talk to the stream, you are more than welcome to come on. Alright, we'll start with Aurora since she just won. And I'll go ahead and turn this down. Aurora, while I'm getting this set up, I need you to give me your favorite Pokemon song. Anything from any game, I'll go ahead and put it on for you. GG's, Love and Aurora. Sick. Absolutely nuts. And they had the 2 closest kill leaders, too. Isn't that funny? It was between Dragapult and G-Max Pikachu there for kill leader. Black and White 2 Elite 4 theme. You got it. There we go. Alright, I'm in streamer mode, so I'm not going to know if you've picked up or when you've picked up, so just let me know.
I have
okay, you're here.
Up. Hello.
I just want to say, the last thing that you sent me in this DM is, so it's up to me to defy expectations on my side of the bracket. Do you feel like you defied the expectations today?
I definitely, when I, those last few turns against IDM, when the last one passed, I legitimately had tears in my eyes. One thing I did hear you say correctly before is that I beat IDM before in Draft League. That's incorrect. This was the first time I
You've
actually
never
ever met-
beaten IDM in Draft League before?
Not in I've beaten IDM in tournaments before, but never in Draft League.
That's
crazy. I came so close one time. It was Terrakion and Garchomp versus Stack Attacker, and I knew he had a berry, and it was up to me to figure out if it was the fighting type berry or the ground type berry.
Ground type berry, yeah.
I had it wrong. He trick roomed and swept me in reverse.
Yeah.
And I was very upset about that.
Well, you got it. I mean, what you did today was you got your win on IDM, and I know the IDM win is probably more important for you, but in my opinion, I feel like the Lovin win means more.
The Lovin win was, like, losing to Lovin week 1, it definitely set sort of like the theme for this whole season, which was just crazy upsets all around.
The new blood, I mean, they were going deep. Lovin, Sky, and Firebolt were top 4.
Lovin is second.
Second
Like,
place!
I feel like even with like a few different plays, he could have been first.
He was competitive all the way to the end.
What was about to say, like, big props to Lovin, big props to Firebolt, big props to everyone for playing, of course. This has been a hell of a season. I'm so happy to finally have one under my belt, and I remember I did have a previous an SSL season under my belt, but I did not get. I lost to IDM in the season of that one, and then I didn't get to
fight him back. Yeah,
get to fight him back. I just was up against, I think it was YBE in finals then.
Thank you, Nihilus, for the 100 bits, and thank you so much for hanging out. We really appreciate all the spectators, especially, because what good is a fight if no one's there to see it? Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We're going to do our interviews. We're starting with Aurora. We're going to do Lovin next, IDM after if he wants to, and then Firebolt has already said he wants to as well. So we're going to do some interviews. We'll go through. If anybody has any questions, definitely feel free to reach out. But yeah, I mean, just talk. I mean, you did it. Here you are. You organized the season. You won it. So now the collusion is complete. You and me have both won a season. So it's, you know.
Yeah, it's true, by the way. We just do these to, like, stroke our own egos. That's the only reason.
I actually, like, lucked the shit out of my way to a win. It was so funny. Like, season 1 was so fraudulent. I really want to make the... You know what sucks is, like, I'm sitting here, and I'm so excited, and I'm like, God, I just want to play. I want to get my ass in gear, and I want to write down my drafts for next season, and I want to play again. Even after getting so bent out of shape about it during group stage, I just want to play, you know?
Yeah, like, I feel especially, like, after today, I feel all the matches had, like, very good things going on, very, like, unexpected twists and turns. And that just gets you into the mood to just, like, jump back in, you know?
I know. You know what? I think that Double Dip is just kind of blessed, in a way. Like, it was kind of cursed during group stage, but when it comes to, like, grand finals or playoffs matches, like, when it counts, they're great.
We've always had hype. I can still remember SSL Season 1, where the semifinals were a lot more interesting to watch than just, like, IDM completely flooring Bisharp.
Yeah, that was really funny, too, actually. That was sick.
Yeah, it was sick to watch. It was kind of, like, not thrilling, though, because it's like, you want tension, and it's just kind of like, oh, IDM's just fucking trolling Bisharp. While still just completely rolling him. One thing that I'm very happy about is during my team building for IDM, I went back and forth on whether I should run my Steelix with Sturdy and Life Orb, so I could just get that one last hit, because I knew even with like the slightest amount of chip, it would kill even a shell smashed Poltegeist from full.
Right.
Assuming it's max speed, max attack with like no defensive investment. So I was like, do I want to do the defensive thing and keep Sturdy, so if IDM manages to do that, I can stop it? Or do I want to do the proactive thing and run Dragon Dance, Sheer Force, Life Orb, Adamant, max speed, max attack?
So you did do the Dragon Dance, like, semi-speed
I did. I went back and forth. The thing that I realized that made me eventually do it is I looked back at my match versus IDM, and I realized there were certain Pokemon that he didn't bring. One Pokemon I was very scared of was the Rune Regus, which was one thing that just completely whoops the floor with that Steelix set.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, about like 8 of my other Pokemon wipe the floor of that thing.
Right. So he's not
So
gonna bring it.
So I didn't expect him to bring it. That was one of the reasons I didn't want to bring it. I think, let me quickly look at IDM Steam again. Because there was another Pokemon I think that I was scared of that would stop it. I mean, it was definitely also Gastrodon, but then I killed Gastrodon and it surprised to go out.
Mm-hmm. Man, IDM really made you wait for it, huh?
Yeah, IDM was calcing constantly. I was terrified of that Machamp. I nearly threw, but like if I just had clicked acrobatics on it, turn 1 with my Dragapult in versus the Machamp, I could have done, depending on if he was speed or HP, like 80 to just killing it, depending on his investment, while probably also losing Dragapult.
Yeah.
But it would sort of like deny him the chance to set up.
Right.
But I was sort of under the impression that IDM would think like, oh, I kind of need to deal with this Dragapult right now, so it's like I'll go into the Pokemon that I specifically prepped for this, which was Nightfall. It was Hitmontop.
Right.
With Citrus Berry, with Bulk Up, with Intimidate. It could lift 2 hits, then it could just go into Dragapult again and Phantom Force for the last hit.
Yeah, that's good.
Stall it out.
Also, Vincent, next season is definitely going to be at least after both the DLCs come out for the summer Sword and Shield, because we want to do the next season with like the expanded Pokédex.
That definitely. Also, we like usually want to have a little bit of like.
Yeah, we need to also chill out and not have to do this for a while. But
yeah, because like first of all, it's very stressful to do this every week for certain people. Kind of depends, and also like people just get burned out. We used to have like 3-month-long seasons.
Oh my god, dude, I can't believe anyone wouldn't play with divisions. After doing this, I feel like it's just the way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I am very sad that we did not get any new matches in the playoffs here, though.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like upsides and downsides. I love to see new matches, but also like the storylines for a run back are so interesting. Like seeing you beat 2 people you lost to. I think the only 2 people you lost to, right?
No, I lost to Cameron as well.
Oh right, yes. So 2 of the 3 people that you lost to in group stage, you had to fight. You had to get the run back. You had to win.
Yeah, I lost to Ninja.
That's right, you did lose to Ninja. Let's fucking go. You'll have to get that run back if Cameron plays again next season.
Oh, definitely. But that also was like a very fun match for me, because like one thing I had going for me like all season is that for literally everyone, Dragapult outspeeds everything and even outspeeds some +1s or some Scarfed Pokemon.
It actually outspeeds a lot of Scarf Pokemon. Yeah.
Like one reason I was not scared at all of the Frostmoth set that IDM was brought was like, even at +1, I can run Adamant Dragapult and outrun it. which is insane. The only thing that Adamant Dragapult didn't outrun would be a Scarfed Poltegeist. But I feel IDM's a tricksy dude. I feel IDM would always go for some setup bullshit with like tricks and shell smack and fucking strength stab. Fuck you, IDM.
Oh my god, he actually, dude, he fucked himself by bringing weak armor. I don't think actually there is another ability, but you know, weak armor just that sucks, you know.
He has Curse Body as well.
Oh yeah, he should rock Curse Body. Shit, he just won.
Yeah, I think like the thing that he wanted to do probably was just to get. Like, either to use that to revenge something, like just switch it in, have it live a hit, and then be faster and kill something. Yeah. But it did indeed end up biting him in the ass. And oh, one thing that I had very quickly realized, because I was almost made a mistake against the Poltegeist.
Yeah.
Because if I had kept clicking Earthquake, I would have gradually lost due to life orb damage, but Iron Head, because of sheer force, did not. And that was the reason that Sturdy, or not taking Sturdy, was so important.
That's so good. Yeah, you would have actually, that could have been a lost 1v1.
But I would have lost that if I had gone with the Sturdy set.
You know what's funny about that? You know what's very poetic about that? Is that's the inverse of what happened last time you fought IDM and almost won. With the Berry 50-50, suddenly it came down to the abilities you chose before you even started playing.
I mean, yeah, true. It also kind of depended on IDM running the... Not the Curse Body, but the other one.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. I mean, it came down to team building differences. There was nothing about the play, right? Like, I don't know, I just think it's very sort of poetic.
Like from my end, there was no other thing to do than click Iron Head, as it was the most damaging move that I had in that moment. The third move that I had Earthquake, Body Press, Iron Head and Dragon Dance. Which, after one Dragon Dance with like the maximum speed investment, it outran a lot of IDM's teams. Because I kind of expected him to be running a lot of bulky sets.
Yeah.
So it did outrun certain things that I did sort of expect him to.
Did you bring a physical Dragapult versus Levin Sky?
No, I brought specs.
I thought so. I literally hard called that. I was like, after watching your last replay, I was like, there's no way Aurora brings physical Dragapult again.
No, I was like, this thing's not getting walled by Quillfish again. Choice Specs Thunder.
What did you think of IDM? Or sorry, not IDM. We've only been talking about IDM. What do you think about Levin?
Levin, I am very proud of Levin. Like him, like first of all, like getting beat by Levin week 1. That's an experience because you're like, oh, this person has never played like. At least not played a lot of Pokemon before.
Right.
They're new to the draft season. From just looking at their team, they drafted G-Max Pikachu. You're like, okay, like I can sort of like get to grips with my own team this week. I can just sort of take it cool. And Levin Sky proved to me never to underestimate. You can't take it cool in draft. You always have to be like, my opponent is 10 billion IQ, knows my every move. I need to piss my pants.
You got to be 100% of the time. It's just the.
Definitely.
The way it is. Anyway, we have some other people. I do want to get some more people on stream. Is there any final words you want to say to the stream?
Just again, thank everyone for continuously playing. We're definitely going to do another season, of course. Like Spood said, we are going to do prizes, so be more motivated. Like
trophies. You're gonna get a trophy, Aurora. You're gonna get a trophy.
I'm gonna get a trophy. You're gonna have to send 2 trophies to Europe now.
I know. Fuck. I hate. We need to like ban Europeans from playing Double Dip.
If you ban, then you ban both me and IDM as well as Vincent. and there's another new friend that I also added to the chat.
Oh yeah.
Captain, they're called. They're also European. They're another friend of mine. They are also interested in playing next season.
Let's go. We're gonna have a whole division of European players by the end.
We also definitely need to make sure to look at the divisions better next time because I definitely feel Division 1.
Okay, so that's not really our fault because the seeds that we had got completely shuffled. I mean, like, you couldn't have predicted that Nick and Levin and Firebolt would have performed the way that they did. And all 3 of them were in the same division.
Definitely, I agree with that.
So they just fucked everything.
Yeah.
It's their fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. Congrats again on winning. Go pat yourself on the back. Go get yourself some water. I'm sure you're dehydrated.
Goodbye, everyone. Have good interviews. Bye-bye. Love y'all.
Let's go ahead and get Levin Sky on here. And I also... Okay, there you are. Levin Sky, 2nd place. How do you feel, buddy?
Feeling really good.
You're really quiet.
I was happy.
I need to like turn down the music. Also, do you have a specific song that you want me to play?
Uh-oh, Stinky Lavender Town.
Sure. I'll have to play it kind of low, but we're on it. Oh, there's a 1-hour mix. I don't even have to loop it. Nice. All right, Levin Sky. So you got fucking 2nd place, and I hope I'm not being unfair when I say, like, you know, when I talk about your level of experience with Pokemon, I mean, literally, so you played, I think it was, like, Ruby or Sapphire or Emerald, right? For the first time?
I've only played Emerald all the way through. That's the only Pokemon game I've beaten.
And when did you play Emerald for the first time?
Like a year ago.
A year ago, in 2019. So you're like a real baby-faced, like, in terms of just the grander Pokemon, like, fandom, right? There's not really... You don't have, like, that foundation that a lot of people are working on from when they're a kid, where they're like, oh, I know the type matchups, because when I was a kid, I played a lot of Pokemon. Like, you kind of have to learn all this shit when you're older. And it's different, it's harder to commit that kind of stuff to memory when you didn't grow up with it. So, like, kind of from an outsider's perspective, what was it like coming in and sort of just playing for the first time? And sort of how did that compare to, like, you know, you obviously performed insanely well, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, kind of give me the rundown. Like, tell me about your season.
Well, I didn't expect much to go in. I kind of just joined because you, like, wanted more people. to like get the 16 players. There's like people screaming outside too. Sorry.
That's okay.
And I had no expectations. I was kind of just doing it to do it. I didn't expect I'd end up in second place.
Right.
But yeah, so anytime I play a match, I literally have the Pokemon type calculator just to like see
Just to be sure.
just see what's super effective against what.
Mhm.
And I've started using the calculator as well.
Yeah, and the calculator is really good. Like, that's like the tool for. When I don't know. So, did you watch when you were like in the stream waiting for your match? Did you watch IDM versus Aurora?
Yeah.
You could tell they were just sitting there for fucking ever, just like calcing every turn. It's really funny to watch. But yeah, dude, fucking good shit. Second place you're no slouch. What win are you most proud of, actually, from your whole season? Could be group stage, could be playoffs win.
Probably Nick.
Nick, really?
I definitely expected to lose Nick.
Oh, the Nick replay is so bad.
Cheesed the fuck out of him.
You did. That's actually the stinkiest cheese I've ever seen in my life. Can we get some stinky cheese in the chat for Lovin' versus Nick? That is so funny. Yeah, the type null was crazy. You had a really good draft. When I did my first draft league, Pokemon Smowdown Season 1, that was SSL Season 1, my draft sucked dick. It was awful. I got totally beamed. I went like 0-13, and it was mostly because my draft was really shitty. How did you go about putting your draft together?
You, as well as just like the known Pokemon I did know, I kind of just picked. I was like, Gyarados is cool.
Right.
I want Gyarados, and he's like S tier, so I was like, that's pretty good.
Right. G-Max Pikachu, where did that come from?
I knew Pikachu, you know him.
Yeah, you know Mario. You know him. Yeah, that's actually so funny. So, and I was saying this earlier in the commentary, but G-Max Pikachu is not a good Pokemon, and you make it look insane. Like, there's no reason that your Pikachu should have done as well as it did, as consistently as it did, but it literally swept whole teams. Like, it was so bizarre. I mean, as far as, like, the other picks, you know, G-Max Corviknight and, like, G-Max Grimmsnarl are considered, like, really, really strong Gigantamaxes, and you had fucking Pikachu, and you just, like, it got farther than any other G-Max, you know, besides Dreadnought. It was, like, nuts. And Dreadnought's also not a good G-Max, so it was funny to see them both in Grand Finals. But yeah, dude, I mean, fuck. There's not much else to say. Like, you got second.
Yeah, I was happy about getting to playoffs, not even getting second. I was happy I was on top. So it's like nuts that I got second.
Yeah, all the way to Grand. That's insane.
I'm glad I didn't have to play IDM.
Yeah, God, oh, poor Firebolt. That sucked. We're gonna be talking to IDM here in just a minute, and then we'll be moving on to Firebolt. Assuming that IDM wants to talk, by the way. I don't know if he's still here.
I definitely last minute put Scarf Focus Blast on Ludicolo to deal with the Obstagoon.
I love that, actually.
So I didn't have to shuckle cheese and hope.
The shuckle cheese was so funny. Do you want to tell him what we cooked up for your shuckle set?
Yeah, so running acupressure to literally just hope that I get special defense and defense off.
Yeah.
And evasion. And just so infestation funny. Cheese until...
Literally just gambling, just hoping. That was really funny. Well, I mean, is there anything else that you want to say? Because if not, I'll go ahead and reach out and see if IDM wants to do an interview. I see that he's playing Overwatch.
That's all I have to say.
That's the sound that Gigantamax Pikachu makes when he Gigantamaxes. He goes pee. If you've never seen the clip, you should look it up. It's funny. Yeah, dude. Second place.
Congratulations.
So if you, what's up?
Congratulations to Aurora.
Yeah, congrats to Aurora. Nuts. And good shit to Firebolt, especially, too, because he made a deep fucking run. You know, he's that guy. He's that dude. He's that dude. Thank you for talking to me, Love and Sky. I will talk to you later, bud.
Alright, have a good one, everyone in the street.
We're gonna go ahead and IDM hasn't responded, so I'll go ahead and reach out to Firebolt. We'll do Firebolt's interview. And then if I don't hear back from IDM by the end of that interview, we'll just call it Dunskies. Firebolt 1, 2, 4, 6. That's not actually your tag. It's just kind of a random assortment of numbers. Buddy, how are you doing?
You know, I'm doing okay. You know, 4th place is what it is, but I was lucky just to make it to the playoffs. So
yeah. Also, what's your favorite Pokemon song? I'll put it on for you.
Do like Accumulatown.
Good taste. Perfect. I'll go ahead and I don't have to leave that aside for 30 minutes. All right. Firebolt, you made the deep run. You got 4th out of 16. So you outplaced Kemeth, you outplaced Nick, you outplaced me, you outplaced your best elevator. You fucking outplaced a lot of long-timers, really good players. Tell me about like the contrast between losing playoffs to like one move versus getting to top 4. Like, what is the contrast between your season 2 experience to like your season 3?
I mean, I feel like every single season, I learn a little bit more. Like, obviously, I've played Pokemon since, you know, Yellow version back on the original Game Boy, but like, I never got into the competitive aspect until probably about maybe 4 years ago. And so, like, I keep on learning every season, and last season I missed out on playoffs. This season my goal was just to make it into playoffs.
And you pulled off the upset of the season. How does that feel?
I mean, I was super hyped when I beat Scoots, but like it was one of those things where I was trying to do one thing and it just wasn't working, so I had to turn it around and do something completely different.
Yeah, and you turned it on its head. I mean, the Steam Engine Salicberry, like the sweep, it was enormous. I mean, just the fact that you were able to take a situation where you were so far behind and to just never let go, that's like the Firebolt. It's just not giving up, trying until the bitter end. I love that. 4th place, man. What did you think? I mean, what do you think of Aurora winning? What do you think of Grands?
I was actually like really shocked at the whole, like, just first match upset.
Oh yeah,
you know,
IDM. That was insane.
And it was after you guys had already called it for IDM.
True. Oh my god, yeah, it was over. I mean, we thought it was over.
And so, like, I think that stuff like that is really cool when it gets that close, that you think someone else is going to win, and then someone else is able to pull it out. That's like the coolest part about the things that happen in Pokemon.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not to sound cheesy, because, you know, it's a video game and it's not, you know, it's not that deep, fam, but it's kind of just like the human spirit, like competition, you know, seeing somebody put everything they have out there and just like, this is the best I've got, and if it's not enough, you know, it hurts, it fucking stings when you lose. It's just like, I want to crawl in a hole. But like, to put yourself out there and to be like, this is the best I got, come at me, like, I don't know, I think there's something beautiful in it, and that's in Pokemon, that's in Smash, it's just in competition, you know, and I think that's, you know, when I watch matches like IDM versus Aurora, and it's just like constantly you're walking a tightrope trying not to fall off on both sides, and they're both just pushing and pushing and pushing with everything they've got. It's just amazing. It's a real treat. And I'm only sad that I didn't get to participate. But you know what? There's always next season.
And can I say, by the way, that I even though I lost both times, I love fighting Love and Sky.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because like the first time, like we didn't really get like a good chance to see, you know, how things were gonna work out because I got kind of cheesed there.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved how close our fight was.
Yeah. It was actually,
you know,
that one was insane too. For round 1, we had 2 like super close, low percent, 1 Pokemon remaining like matches. Yeah, Lovin's been awesome. He's been so good. And I'm so happy for you, Firebolt! Because I was so bent out of shape last season. I kind of have this weird relationship with you as like a competitor where I'm like, I kind of feel like I've taken you under my wing a little bit, and I'm like, this is my Firebolt, and it's important to me that my Firebolt does good, you know. And it's just like been such a treat to see you. Like you did so good, and you're such a good like learner. Like when you mentioned earlier that you learn new stuff every season, I see it in you. Because when I say something to other people, like if I help someone drill or I'm helping somebody team build and I say something, it doesn't like stick. But if I say something to you, it sticks immediately. Like if you get just a morsel of knowledge, you just like run with it. And I love that. It is so rewarding to see you like apply the things we talk about. I don't know. It's just really exciting. But,
and especially now, I mean, like, things didn't quite work out with my IDM fight the way I wanted it to. But like I was trying out things that I had just learned this season, you know, like things that like, oh, this is a cool combination that I can use. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of can it get set up. And the funny thing is that if Machamp didn't have a priority move, I might have won that game.
That's true, if he wasn't running that Bullet Punch. Because you found that setup right in that Vikavolt's face, and it was, you know, it could have been there.
But you know, and like, same thing as if it had Gigantamax, then it wouldn't have had that priority move either. So, I mean, a lot of things that, you know, it's like, it was close, but it didn't look as close as it actually was.
Yeah, and like certain Pokemon fights will look like that. Like there was definitely a difference between like your fight with Lovin, which was technically a 5-0, and your fight with IDM, which was technically a 6-0. Your fight with IDM was so much closer. Like it really, you know, it comes down to just a couple of turns sometimes. But hey man, that's Pokemon, that's life. You did a hell of a job. You made a deep, excellent run. You beat Scoots. You're nuts. And I hope to see you back next season, man.
You know, I honestly, next season, I want to see more people. I want to see just like new matchups, new faces.
Oh yeah, I loved this season. Was great because we had a lot of new blood, like Vincent, Lovin, Round Boy. There were other new people. Well, let me go take a look at the matchup again, or the ranking. Excuse me. So yeah, for their first season, so like Lovin, that was his first season. It was Cameron's first season. It was Vincent's first season. It was Round Boy's first season. So there was 4 people who were playing for the very first time. I think that's awesome. Who was do you think, like aside from Lovin, obviously, who do you think was kind of the underdog hit for this season? Like as a spectator, what did you enjoy watching?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
The season was a stinker.
I'm not sure who the biggest. I'm not sure who the biggest underdog was because, like, it's like, you know, a lot of the people that do really well consistently still did really well. But it is. But I think you had mentioned it before that everyone had at least 1-2 games, so there was no one that really did super bad.
Right.
So I think everyone performed really well this season.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good answer, because we've never had a season where everyone went 2 games win, you know? Like, a lot of times I'm crossing my fingers and hoping just as a, you know, as a spectator and as an organizer who just hopes people get to have fun, you know, and winning is fun. I'm always sitting there like, I hope everybody at least gets 1, right? Everyone got 2! No matter how low their seed was, absolutely everybody got at least 2. That is so cool. I love that. Is there anything that you want to say to the stream before we head off? Because I think that might just be about it.
Just, you know, congratulations, Aurora, and like I said, I want to see a lot more people next year.
Sign up! Sign up for Double Dip Draft Season 4 when it happens. It's not going to happen for a little while, but keep your ears open. It's coming. Thank you, Firebolt, and congratulations on top 4. You were a treat. I loved watching you play. You did good, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we didn't get any word back from IDM, so we're going to have to skip on his interview for now. But good shit. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Aurora linked it. We would love to have absolutely anybody who's interested in playing. We do a lot of team exercises, you know. If you're interested in playing, and even if you don't know anything about Pokemon, come play with us. We would love to have you. And who knows, you might just be loving Sky. Anyway, that's it. I mean, that's Double Dip Draft Season 3 Top 4. Congratulations to, once again, Aurora for winning. Congratulations to Love and Sky for 2nd. Congrats to IDM for 3rd. Congrats to Firebolt for 4th. Huge shout out as well to all of our top 4, or rather our top 8, that did not get to show up on this stream. Allow me to quickly just showcase them real quick as well. Okay, hold on, wait. Come on. And it'll take just a second because this is all new to me. So, stretch the screen. There we go. Big shout outs to Scoots, Vincent, General 5-star, and Your Best Elevator. You guys also qualified for playoffs. You guys were awesome. It was a shame we didn't get to see you in the top 4. I hope to see you guys there next season. That's it for me. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Let's go ahead and see if there's anyone to raid. Probably not, given it's kind of an awkward time of day, but you know we love raiding. Oh, Cabral! We can raid Cabral. That'd be awesome. /raid Cabral095. Please show Cabral some love. There we go. He's playing Half-Life. He's a delight. You guys are gonna like him. Double Dip is sick. See you all next season. I'll be back with a new stream soon. Bye.